I better just stop now.
You gotta come back. We're getting ready to go live. All right.
I'm coming back.
Okay. All right. I think we're live everywhere. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to our Inner Shaolin Friday Q&A, where we're going to be answering your questions about Kung Fu, martial arts, health, wellness, fitness, all that good stuff. And this is...
The bum.
Yo, you're not wearing Inner Shaolin.
I know, dude. Hang on.
That's Sifu Larry. Sometimes he reps, sometimes he doesn't. I got Sifu here, and I'm CJ Jamie Flies. We are going to take care of you guys and gals. So if you have any questions, if you are on YouTube or Facebook,
I'm ready.
There you go.
He's representing.
He's repping now.
What happened to that? We're frozen in time.
I don't know.
It's like Doctor Who.
I don't know.
You broke it.
I don't know. Apparently Facebook's frozen, so...
Are we on
Facebook's
YouTube?
no good.
I don't know. Yes, we are. We're on there. Yeah, we're good
I should
on
go
there.
see what's going on.
Give me a moment, guys and gals. Let me just make sure that I'm on the right. Yes, I'm on the right one. Okay, I
Maybe there's
don't
a software
know
update
what's
that says.
going on. So, you know what? Let me finish this one.
It's not even 4 seconds long.
Well, let me finish it because it's stuck and it's like it's not even 4
Can you
seconds
close the
long.
app?
Yeah, let me try closing out the app. Sorry about this, fam. Give me a moment here. We'll try Facebook one more time, and then if that doesn't work,
Just forget it.
then forget it. It ain't happening. Then it's what's gonna happen.
Facebook's no good. That's why I don't even use it.
It's a pain in the butt. We only use it because, well, we got a business. That's about it. All right, let's see if that works. All right, we'll try that. All right, so real quick, let me give a shout out to our people we have on with us on Zoom. We got Caleb, Catherine, Dan, Dave, Douglas, John, Pam, Terry, and Thomas. So welcome everyone. I see a couple people I don't normally see on, so glad to have you all. For you that are on Zoom with us, make sure that you... Okay, why does it want me to rotate my phone? I don't know what's going on. Okay, so it started it the wrong way, even though I had it the right way. That's not cool. Yeah, you want to know why? Because even though my phone was already set up that way, it decided to do that. No, I don't want to post that. Give me a moment.
It's
Technical
Facebook.
difficulties. All right, we'll try that again. So yeah, so if you are on live with us on Zoom, family, make sure that you use the Q&A spot to put your questions. And if you're on YouTube, and I won't talk about the Facebook people yet because, well, they don't exist at the moment because they're not live. But if you're on YouTube, make sure that you put it in the comment section. Sifu Larry will get it over to us and we'll take care of you. Let's see here. We are live.
I'm tired.
When are you not tired, Sifu?
I went to bed around 4:30, 5 o'clock last night.
Yeah.
Well, that's average for you.
Yeah, I know.
But you ain't getting any younger.
I'm on Israeli time.
All right, there we go. Let's see if that works. All right, we'll try that. Now I gotta get this back in. Sorry, Facebook people. All right, we're live, I think, for real. Okay, hopefully that works. We look normal, that's good. Now I can't get my thing to not.
Oh, God, what kind of cracker-jack operation is it?
That was horrible. Okay.
We had an earthquake. Sorry.
That was great. Okay, sorry about.
How do we get
This.
by every day?
I don't know.
How do we
Very carefully.
How do we even survive?
All right. Hopefully that it's now it's being
It's
weird.
the
It's
back.
not wanting to stay, and it was
So-
staying. So
Today we're going to talk
having
about gremlins.
lots of it can't
We're-
be like that because then it's
That's
too
just my
close.
nose.
It has to
Oh,
be
I'm back.
over here. Yeah, it normally hangs okay.
You think anybody's even
but-
watching anymore?
I don't know, but that was fun. Okay, sorry, family.
No
All right,
banging on the table. Otherwise,
All
that
right.
will come off.
all right, we're good. Sort of, kind of. Okay, we're just gonna work with that. Sorry, Facebook people and everyone else. All right, so that was fun.
You know what I think we should do, Jane, from
Douglas
now on?
said too many Mondays this week. Yeah, you know
I
what,
think we
Douglas?
should clip that on that and put that.
You know, the problem is that it doesn't go up high enough for that, or I would. But we could do it from over
That's what I'm saying.
here.
That's what I'm saying.
From
Put it
over
on
here?
the side and have it
You know,
point
we
to
did
us.
that
In case you don't know, we're live.
Yeah, I know. But we're just gonna.
Did you just crack your phone?
No, that was I cracked that at my mom's
Oh.
funeral on the way into my
Mm.
mom's funeral. It slipped
Oh.
out of my hand and even though it didn't fall directly on there, it kind of just, slid ever so carefully.
Well,
And yeah, it just broke.
does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask that we can answer for you?
I think I got it. All right. So yeah, no, definitely too many Mondays, Douglas. Okay. So we do have some questions that came through. Thank you, family, for sending your questions in. Thomas Roach says, does it matter when one can start their Tai Chi training when coming to Nodak Na?
No, doesn't matter because it's energy. I mean, stop. I tell people all the time, styles and arts like where you do tiger, crane, Wing Chun, karate. It doesn't matter. It's all about energy. That's the most important thing. So your basic training, what you want to learn to do is control energy. That's what you want to do. So it doesn't matter. It's all the same. Whether you do Tai Chi, a punch is a punch is a punch. A kick is a kick is a kick. It's how you do it that makes the difference. A boxer has a certain way to do it. Karate guys have a certain way to do it. NDN has a certain way to do it. It's all a matter of learning how to control that energy right. And that's really what matters. So styles is just a word. How you move is what matters, not what you move from what style. That's irrelevant. It's how you move in that energy that matters. So it's always good to start at any time.
Yeah. And actually, speaking of styles and stuff like that, he said, thank you. I had a couple questions come through this week from different people. Like one was like, I don't want to learn your guys' Wing Chun. I just want to learn Nodak Na. And so I explained to that person that when you come to our site, you're going to learn Nodak Na through everything that we do, because Nodak Na is expressed through everything that we do. It's just learning different tools and techniques for that.
Nodak Na is a system of energy principles and understand how to use that energy. And
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what style. You could take it and apply it to Wing Chun, Jiu-Jitsu, Judo. It doesn't matter. Energy is universal. So it doesn't matter whether your discipline is kicking or punching or grappling or a little bit of both or a mix of everything. It doesn't matter. Behind all styles, you have to use energy to make it work. The question is how? And that's what NDN is. That's why anybody can take NDN and adapt it to the system.
Yeah.
We're not telling you have to change your system or your style. What's our model? Let energy refine you, right? Don't let style define you. Let energy refine you. It's not about conforming to us, but conforming to the principles of nature, of energy, physics. That's what you want to really adhere to. Not, we have to change the way we fight in terms of how we punch or how we move. It doesn't matter how you move. The best example I can say is like pick any number that equals 1,000. There's a lot of numbers that can equal 1,000. It doesn't matter as long as it equals 1,000. 1,000 is perfect. Let's just say 1,000 is the perfect number. You can pick 900, 100, 800 and 200, 700 and 300, 650 and 350. It doesn't matter. Well, who's right and who's wrong? It doesn't matter, because as long as it goes 1,000, it's good. So that's what really matters, that you adhere to the principle and it gets to what you're supposed to do. So irrelevant whether you do a vertical punch, a horizontal punch, a reverse punch, a back fist. Styles have all kinds, and some of them, they know how to make it hurt, and other people, they can throw everything they got, and you're just like, what are you doing? Because it's not about really the style. It's how you move in that energy. Forget the name. Think the energy. Forget the words. That's just man-made stuff. Energy is universal. It's something that was in God given in creation. The words we make is what we create, but energy is not something you can create, right? What's the nature of energy? It cannot be created, cannot be destroyed, it can only be converted, which is what we do. We convert energy. We learn how to use energy, and it doesn't matter the style. I tell people all the time, give me any punch. I don't say, well, give me a vertical punch. Give me this type of punch. I say, give me any punch, because I'm going to make it work. Because whatever you start with, it's like you picking a number less than 1,000. So you pick 700. Well, I'm going to pick 300 to perfect that technique in there. So it doesn't matter what number you start with. It's how I connect and how I follow through with the energy. And that's what makes it.
Yeah. And people get really, really stuck with that. And just get stuck in these like boxes of styles and stuff like that. Even in people that come to our site and it's mind blowing. So I'm like, don't you watch our videos? Like, don't you pay attention? We have all these different styles there because these are things that Sifu Fu over the years has found very useful, but he's perfected them through the Nodak Na system. So whether you're learning Wing Chun, Tai Chi, whatever with us, you are in by nature just learning the Nodak Na system as well, because it's all applied to that.
It's a universal thing.
Right. Our Wing Chun's not separate from our Nodak Na, or our Tai Chi separate from our Nodak Na. It's all encompassed. So I highly encourage people, when you come to our site, it's okay if you're just coming for one thing, but don't be afraid to explore and see what else we have for you. Or be closed-minded to go, oh, well, Wing Chun sucks because I saw this, this, and this, or, you know, I saw that Tai Chi is just for old people, or that. Like, think outside the box and know that everything that we present to you has value, but only if you do it right, obviously, and you check it out and are open-minded enough to check it out. But by essence, anything that we teach you and you train with us, you are learning Nodak Na, and it's helping you to understand those principles more.
I have a student, an online student, you know, and he was training in another system of Wing Chun, and he saw us at the Shaolin to the site, and he started just watching it, and just like, he liked what we said, and he joined up, he followed the principles, and he took those principles and he applied it, and he started beating everyone in his class. Before, when he was having problems with bigger, stronger people, he took the energy, learned how to control points and stuff like that, and he was able to do it. And they're like, what are you doing? Like, they don't understand, because when he was learning how to attack and push against force and this, and we teach you how to control the point rather than go against the point. And it made a huge difference for him. And he didn't change his Wing Chun. He refined it. That's all. We're not saying now you're a Nodak Na Wing Chun fighter. You know, you're a Wing Chun fighter. You know, if you're a Wing Chun fighter, you're a Wing Chun fighter. If you're a karate fighter, you're a karate fighter. It doesn't matter. Again, that's just a word. Because in the end, one style does not beat another style. It's a fighter behind it and how he makes it work. You know what I mean? That's really what it is. So it's how you are. A good chef can make any product work well. He doesn't have to say, I have to have the best ingredients to make it work. Although having the best ingredients makes them cook very well. But he can make anything work well. So he knows how, if he knows how food works, he knows what this does, and how it works with the palate. A good chef doesn't need the best. He just is gonna make it the best. Yeah. And that's the same. Our energy, we refine it to make you the best you can be without trying to change the way you move. It's how you move that matters, not what combinations you pick to move. That's what really styles are. You know, if I did this, what does this look like? A Wing Chun guy would say that's a Wu in Wing Chun. You know, a Tai Chi guy could say, oh, that looks like a single whip type of hand. Animals would be like, oh, look, he looks like he's holding his for animals. It doesn't matter, because I could go like this, it looks like tiger. You know, I could go like this, it looks like dragon. I go like this, it looks like a leopard. It's irrelevant, because really the structures from the shoulder to the elbow, wrist, and how I move within that, not because I position my hand. That's irrelevant. How I move in combinations defines a style, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's a good fighting style. It's how you move in that style that makes the difference. You know, people take our techniques, they refine it through the principles, and they say it works so much better. They were able to channel people's energy. They were able to hit harder. They were able to hit points and move from one point to another, because they understand the principle behind the movement, not the follow-up movements.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, we have had several people also come to the site. And this is usually when I talk about different stuff, it's stuff that's come up through the week through customer service. So I usually like to bring out, because usually if this is one person's concern, there's other people that have similar concerns or thoughts. So I like to bring it up. So we had another person that was like, well, you know, I know you guys got Tai Chi, but I already do Tai Chi, so I don't need that. Or I have people, you know, that are like, well, I already learned Silam Tao, so, you know, I don't need to relearn that. And I always encourage them to go and take a look at what we do, because 9 times out of 10, actually, well, it's really been 10 out of 10, but they always find something new and a way to improve what they have. Even if you're learning a different Tai Chi style, the energy principles that you're going to learn with what Sifu Fu teaches are going to enhance whatever you do. Like, I don't understand why people are so closed off in these like little boxes when it comes to their training. Like, if you like what someone's already teaching you with one aspect, why not see what else they have over here? Because there might be something that you can do to improve what you already know, or what you think you already know. Just saying. So just always be open-minded and be willing to grow.
We'd like to say hi to everyone on Facebook. Rob,
Hi.
Carla, and Eddie. We see
What's
you guys
up?
on, so we want to say hi.
You know,
We're not
sure.
just paying attention to YouTube and Zoom. We like to say hi to you guys as well.
Yeah. So hello, everyone. And then, but yeah, I just, you know, don't close yourself off into a box. Like, check it out, because I guarantee you're going to learn something a little bit different. That's going to just add that little extra spice to what you're doing. You know,
here's what's going to make us different. That the Nodak Na is different from everything that most people do. And I've said it many times, you know, all styles, they teach you how to move energy.
Yes.
Okay. We teach you how to control it. That's what makes us stand different from everybody else. We're not teaching how to just move energy. We're teaching how to control it. And that makes a big, big difference. It's the difference, like I say, learn how to follow someone's dance steps versus learn how to feel music. It's two different things. Okay. They both have the same effect in terms of we're both having music, but one has it from within. The other one's mimicking from outside.
Right. It's like the chef
And
thing that you're talking about. Good chef can just whatever ingredients, they're gonna whip up something amazing. Same with dancers.
Yeah, a
They can
sous
feel
chef
it.
is someone who a cook is someone who follows a chef's orders,
Mhm.
and a chef is someone who creates food. And that's the same. We teach you how to feel energy, control energy. We're not teaching how to move energy. Anyone can move. You know, if you're breathing, you're alive, you're moving. It doesn't mean that you're moving well.
Right.
We teach you how to control energy. And I've gone through a lot of people, you know, who've done a lot of systems. I've met people who are very like, you know, oh, I've been doing, you know, Tai Chi, I've been doing Wing Chun for like 20 years. And I'm like, okay, you know, I don't care. You know, and in the end, we demonstrate, and it's the same thing. They're putting force against a force. And I just manipulate the energy. I control it. For us, we're always feeling music. So no matter what the dance music is, I can always adapt because I can feel music. They're listening to one style of music.
Right.
So, and they only hear one style. So they don't feel music. They just,
And they're stuck in the
hear
steps,
the
the
beat.
rigidness of the
Right.
steps. Yeah.
it's like listening, hearing. Both are receiving sound. One absorbs it. One just picks it up. Right. Listening is absorbing it, taking it in. Hearing it is just a matter of just hearing the sound, but not getting it inside. We're teaching you how to feel that. We're teaching you how to listen, not just hear. We're teaching you how to feel, not just mimic. We're teaching you how to understand what energy control is, not just how to just move from one point to the next point. Like you're a mechanic who understands the works of a car, not some driver alone. You're a guy who knows how to drive and knows the car, not just know how to drive. Everyone can drive a car, but professional race cars feel their
They
car.
feel it. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So let's see who is on Facebook. We got Nick, Arsene, Pinero, The Wanderer, Ron,
Because I'm the wanderer.
Dominic,
Yeah, the wanderer.
and James, and Zespan. I hope I said that right. So hey, welcome everyone. Glad to have you guys on and gals. So let's see. Thomas says, I'm an old guy and wondering. The Wanderer thing got me.
That's an old song, so I'm going to show you how old I am.
Thomas says, I'm an old guy wondering if I would be starting too late in life. That's why I posed the question. No, there is never, if you're alive and breathing and you have a desire to grow and learn, it is not too late for you. I don't know how old you consider. I've had people, you know, come on and say that they're 33 and old or in their 50s and old. I don't think you're old. It's a mentality. You know what I mean? I've met like 100-year-olds that I don't consider old because they're still young
I'm
at
old.
heart. And then I've met people that are younger than me, for that matter, that are very old-minded. Like, and I don't mean like an old spirit, but like they act old and like they're already dying and they've already given up on life. So if you haven't given up on life, Thomas, it's not too late for you. Not by a long shot. So absolutely, you can start learning. We've done different articles on getting started later in life. It's just, you know, take your time, do what feels comfortable to you, and know that it's going to be a learning process on how to properly move your body and take time. Be, you know, if you feel like you need a break, give yourself a break and then get back on the horse and go. You'll be fine.
And it's, you know what that statement is? It's like saying, I think I'm too old to get in shape and to become better. You know, you're not just learning how to move energy and control energy. You're learning how to control that so you better yourself. That's the purpose of becoming better, to controlling. Like, for example, posturing, for example, for Thomas, like we teach you certain posture, highs, heaven, lows, earth, you know, 3 proof, you know, rooting and all that stuff. If you learn to do that in your life, you're going to use less energy throughout your life to do efforts. And so your body doesn't waste as much energy. And so you're not going to spend that time recouping or expelling that energy.
Right.
Example, like picking up a key, like going like this and picking up a key versus picking up a key and bending your knees and moving like that. The other one stresses the body more. And throughout the day, like that one move may not bother you, but 1,000 of that throughout the day, your body's going to feel by the end of the day. So we're teaching you how to control the body to efficiently and effectively move, not just move in combat. This is life, you know, how to breathe properly, how to not, instead of slouching, it takes more for your energy to breathe. When you can have proper posture, it takes less effort for you to breathe. So
Or
therefore
even
you don't
proper
strain.
breathing. That's a big thing with helping
You don't
with your
strain,
energy
you don't
levels.
stress as much. And then even how you move, like you're walking up the steps, if you're slouching and your body's always having to recorrect itself, when it walks, it's going to cost you more energy. And, you know, like I said, one step, not big deal. You know, one pebble in the sand is not much, but add one, and you got 100,000. That weighs a lot on you. It's going to bear you down. So, you know, one thing makes a big difference. You know, did you ever hear that saying, you know, the last straw that broke the camel's back? Well, straw's light, but you put enough in there, you can break a camel's back, you know, one point. And so same thing, everything that we can improve in our life and our posture and our breathing and how we move, how we respond, mental stimulation, stuff like that, it changes. Our life changes for the better because we're not going to be fighting to recoup because we don't expel and waste all that energy throughout the day.
Yes.
So it's never too late to improve.
Too late. It's never too late. As long as you are willing, it is not too late. So Brian says you have an amazing style. Thank you. And Jim Thorpe says, good morning from Pennsylvania. Hoping you guys didn't get too bad of weather. I know some parts of Pennsylvania got hit harder than others, just like here in New Jersey. We ended up faring pretty well where we're at. We did get some snow, some outages and different things like that, but it wasn't too bad. It could have been a lot worse. Thomas says, this changes my perspective a lot. I'm comparing it to someone learning ballet early in life.
There's a difference because ballet is a specific way of moving, you know, in terms of getting on your toes, stretching. NDN is about posturing, proper energy movement. You don't have to do splits. You don't have to do straddles. You just have to hold your posture a certain way. You have to move your energy throughout your limbs a certain way. And you have to learn how to connect that. That's really what it is. It's principle of improving the body's connection and energy performance, not having to do splits, straddles, and do a pirouette and, you know, do 3 spins. That does require, you know, discipline to do that. You know, we're not asking you. NDN has high kicks, but you don't have to do high kicks to do NDN.
No.
Remember, NDN is how you move in energy. So if you're able to kick in the head, you know, fine, the face, that's fine. But we're not saying you have to do that to achieve NDN. If you can only kick the knee, we teach you how to kick properly to the knee with the energy right. So it's not about you getting to a certain perspective to do NDN. It's about obeying the rules and the principles in everything that you do that makes NDN work for you.
Yeah. And also, Thomas, one of our members had a lot of health issues, all kinds of back problems. He couldn't even like reach down and touch his knee area. Couldn't even do that.
While bending it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that might have been. But eventually he was able to touch his knee and then eventually his toes. And he thought he was never going to be able to touch his toes for the rest of his life. So it's definitely never too late. It's just about taking your time, working with your scenario. There was times he had
follow the NDN principles
Yeah.
because they are there to enhance your body. It's how your body works. NDN didn't make the body work the way it conformed to how the body works. You know, principles.
It's helping
NDN
you to utilize your
is
body
universal
better.
laws. They're universal laws. They're not, you know, like I always tell my students, we didn't conform that we didn't make physics conform to NDN. NDN conformed to the physics and energy and life, and we use that universal laws, and that's what we adhere to.
Yeah.
We didn't make the universal laws adhere to us. We adhere to the universal laws, and so that no matter what you do, and what you do in your training, your life, you're using nature, energy principles of nature to enhance you. The way the body works, the way it doesn't work, we make it work for you according to energy.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And you know, Bob, he's, you know, had to take breaks and different things like that, but he just kept going, you know, as soon as he felt like he was good enough to continue. But he primarily did like Qigong, and now he's working on Tai Chi, and it's just been so life transforming for him. We're actually going to be doing a follow-up podcast with him soon about that, so he can share the different changes that he's had going on. Cindy said that they had 9.5 inches in the backyard of snow, lost power. Others are still without power. Yep, that's we didn't get that much snow. I don't even know how many inches we got.
I think for me, I got like 3.
I was gonna say maybe
inches.
4. That was gonna be my guess. So, but there were still people without power, even with just that little around here. So glad you're doing good and you are okay. Let's see. Raf says, "Hey guys, question: is the Tai Chi 24 movements in any way related to the Yang Tai Chi that Sifu Fu teaches? How can I integrate 24 with ours no Dak Na?" So 24 is just the short form of the long form. We are going to be creating our own version of the short form, but yes, you can obviously integrate the no Dak Na with what you're learning.
A lot of the Tai Chi short form was made for competitions.
Right.
You know, that's why short forms were evolved, because can you imagine?
Right, like 20 people doing the long form? Yeah.
It would take you 20 minutes each person. They didn't do it. So they shortened it for competitions.
Yeah.
And so that's really what the short form is. And then it's also beneficial. So if you don't have, let's say, which, half hour every day, let's say, you can do the short form in 10 minutes,
Right.
5 minutes to 10 minutes, somewhere between there. So it has its benefits. It's better than nothing, but the long form is made, is there to encompass everything that your body needs to feel energy and control the energy. The short form is, like I said, it just took certain movements that helped people still feel it, but it was shortened for the
Right.
competition.
Right. And then also, like, another thing, Raph, is think about it. Like, if you're doing, single whip, well, obviously, you can go look at the single whip video and check on your energy and stuff like that if that's in your short form. I'm not sure what's in your short form. I know there's different variants of the short forms out there. But also, even just like doing the first third, that's a complete set, because it starts with the beginning and it closes off with the end, or the second third or whatever. So if you want to do a Nodak Na short form, you could just do your first third, or first third to the second third, if you know up to that point and stuff like that. So you can do that as long as you're going through the full part of each set. You're going to close it off properly. So that's another thing that you gals can do if you're short on time. But we have been talking about getting Seafood to put together his own short form, because we've had several people ask about that. But in reality is, if you do the first third, you're opening and you're closing off the energy. So that is in kind of its own short form in a way. I don't know how many movements. Do you know how many movements are in the?
I never counted.
I've never counted, but I don't know if it's 24. It might be a little bit more than that.
It's more than 24.
As I say, I think it's a little bit more, but that would be still a short, way to expedite it.
Tail, hold the ball, roll back, press, push, single whip, then separate hands, lift hands, lean forward, slow express wing, brush left knee, step up like guitar, lift hands, brush left knee, twist up, brush right knee, twist up, brush left knee, step like guitar, lift hands. So already we're at like 20 something already. So
we're past that, but it's still a short form. But yeah, you could just literally go, okay, well, I know my short form, I'm working on this, and this. Go into our Tai Chi section and then go look at how he places the energy for each of those individuals, and that will help refine that. So hopefully that will help you until we get our own meetup, and then you can work on that too. Ralph says, my wife has no Tai Chi experience. Is it okay for her to attend the seminar?
No.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no is my last name. I'm sorry. Yes. Yes, of course it's okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Where have you been? I know we've been talking about that for weeks now. Absolutely. It's more than fine. Just like any of our stuff, Raph, if we have people, we had people at our last NDN seminar that were completely new to anything martial arts, and we'll work with everyone on an individual basis if needed to get them up to where they need to be and up to speed. So you don't have to worry about that.
Sometimes it's better that you know nothing, because some people know something and they get into this muscle
Right.
memory, and it's a hard habit for them to change. Let's say they got into this habit of throwing their arm out, and that's wrong energy principles. So we're like, listen, just raise your wrist and turn your wrist, and they might go like this. And it's like they've developed years and years of habit of that, and the muscle memory occurs. So sometimes it's actually better to know nothing than it is to know something and have it wrong, and then have to correct that, because you got a muscle memory built into you.
Yes, absolutely. Let me just double check here. We got that one taken care of. All right, that one's done. Pam says, I still can't stand up straight or for long periods due to my back and other health issues. Is there some specific exercises I can do to improve this?
Well, I don't know what extent your damage to your back is. If you have a bad disc, if you have a muscle pull, I mean, depending on what it is, I mean, I can't answer it, but there are stretches that you can do, like for your back muscles. If you have tenderness in your back, having someone rub and press your back, it helps a lot. Creating stretches, if you just put your hands over your head. Now, you could be sitting down doing this, okay? I'm just standing. But you just bring it over your head, grab your hand to your wrist, and whichever you're grabbing, you're going to pull on that. And you're going to move forward, and that's going to stretch. You're going to stretch anywhere from your upper lower back to your lower back. And depending on the angle, you have to move and find that to where you can stretch that point where you feel very tight. Now, if it's a spinal injury, you need to see a chiropractor or a specialist. Again, I don't know what the damage is. If you have a herniated disc, you have to see a specialist. Your back could be out of alignment. That's where you need a chiropractor. You need to see someone to see what's really wrong with your back. I don't know what's wrong with your back. I have no idea what's wrong with your back. So I can't give you an answer, because it could be a muscle, it could be a bone, it could be a little bit of both. I have no idea. So I can just give you advice in terms of, if you feel muscles spasm, massage is very nice. Stretching is good. Have something warm on your back is good. Make sure your hip is turned forward slightly so that takes the stress off your back. And don't stand with your body like curled like this. Turn your hip forward, let it feel sit. Put the stress in your legs rather than your lower back. Okay, your lower back's always going to be used when you're walking, but when you're standing, turn your hip forward. It takes the stress off that lower back of yours. It puts it in your legs, where it's supposed to be anyways. So just be careful of that. If it's a spinal thing, you need to see somebody like like herniated disc. You need to see a specialist. They have machines that can see what's wrong with your back. And then if it's like I said, if it's a misalignment, a chiropractor can help you with that one. A good one. There's bad chiropractors, but most of the day, people are going to college for that, and they're pretty good now. But you want to see a good doctor, a good chiropractor. Again, I don't know what extent it is, so I have no idea.
Ralph says, thanks, guys. You make the path easy. Pam, Robert Taylor, he's the one that I was talking about. He's had a lot of back issues, all kinds of different things going on. I think you're both, I know he's in Slack, but I think Pam, you're also in Slack. You might want to go into like the Kung Fu journey and just like put a shout out and stuff. But he's saying Qigong, that's what helped him the most. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's just a matter of being consistent over time. He started seeing more and more changes where he was able to do that. And I don't know all his specific back issues or yours, but maybe there's some similarities and stuff like that. And you guys can connect and help each other out and encourage each other. Let's see here. Raph says, any advice for a sciatic nerve?
What do you mean?
I guess just like, when that's bothering you, like pain.
Well, sometimes sciatic nerve can be occur because you have a pinch in your lower back somewhere in your bones, so you need to be adjusted for that. A hip alignment might need to be there. So again, you got to see a chiropractor. There could be a lot of reasons. A pulled muscle can cause that. Right. But a lot of times if your muscle's okay, it's somewhere in your spine that can cause that. Okay, if there's a pinched nerve, it can cause that sensation to feel it here. Yeah. Even though you think it's in your leg, it could be in your back. Right. There was a guy who had a lower back problem. I mean, I've learned this when I was studying human anatomy, and doctors couldn't figure out what it was. They did tests, they did MRIs, and he said, my back is constantly hurting. He could not get the throbbing out of his back. And turns out the problem was actually a toothache. He had a toothache, and the toothache caused the nerve to swell, and that sent an impulse towards his lower spine. But when he had his tooth removed, his back pain went away too. Because he had that toothache caused his lower back to have that sensation of pain. And so, a lot of times what you feel in one point isn't necessarily that's the point that's causing it. It could be your spine. It could be a hip alignment. It could be something. I don't know. I'm not a specialist in that, but I do know that those are causes that can lead to other things. So you just got to see a chiropractor, a good one, like I said. Let them see if you need adjustment, if there might be a pinch in a nerve somewhere, a misalignment in the hip. These things can cause you to have pain one place, but actually the ailment's from another. So nerves are funny. You ever someone, like for those who are married, spouse ever kiss you in the neck, you just feel that tingling in your toes. Even though you got kissed there, it's because your body's connected through nerves and everything. And so one stimulation can affect another. Chinese do it through meridians, acupuncture. That's the thing. They say, okay, you might have bad kidneys, and they'll put pressure on here and help your kidneys. So they've done studies and studies.
I was going to say, I will actually post this. I wasn't sure what I was going to do for the Friday update, but this is actually a great topic. So there are points called reflexology points, or
yes, that's the thing that they call it, reflexology in America.
I do that like with Jaya. I help Sifu Larry out. I've helped his wife out. I do it for myself. Anyone, basically around me that's in pain, I help out with various different things with that. So I will share some charts because there's points in your hands as well as in your feet.
Reflexology actually works.
I told my daughter to
doing
study
it to her because I was amazed. Like it's good for stuffy noses, like back pain.
I actually told my daughter that she wants to go to sports medicine. I told her to study reflexology.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. Super simple to learn, super simple to do. So I will post some charts and everything to help you, so you can see like when you're having back pain, sciatic nerve stuff, there's specific points on your hands and your feet that you can work on, and you can do it to yourself, or if you have a loved one that doesn't mind touching your feet or your hands, they can help you as well and stuff. And basically all the stuff you learn, like with your Qigong and your Tai Chi, I tell people, if you imagine the breathing in and out, that's kind of what you do. You're sending energy into the person, and then you're pulling out the bad energy. And that's a little extra thing that they don't really teach you with reflexology, but that's how I do it. And it makes it extra effective too. So you're helping cleanse and pull out the bad energy at the same time. So I will post more about that in this weekly update with some charts and stuff to help you all out, because I know that's a very, very common thing. But I will say that a lot of times back issues really do have to happen because of bad posture. So pay attention to how you guys are sitting when you're driving, at the office, how you're walking, like Sifu was talking about, especially women, they have a tendency to stick, their behind out, tuck that butt. Okay. But if you walk like a model, like how models are taught to walk, their shoulders are down. They're more for, the high as heaven, low as earth thing going on. Their pelvic is tilted forward, which is all stuff that you learn in your Tai Chi and your Qigong.
It's proper posture, and it exudes positive energy.
Yeah.
That's why they taught to walk this way modeling, because when they're wearing clothes and they walk that style, it shows
you look confident.
It shows that. That's why they have to walk a specific way, because when people are walking down the runway, a guy can walk in the room like, hey, how you doing? And everyone's like, what a dork, and somebody can walk in and like, hey, what's up? And you're like, that guy looks like it's act together. And it's how you hold your posture, how you walk around. And people pick up that vibe. They may not know it, but they can pick it up.
Yeah.
And so you have to have this posture. That's why we follow the principles of Qigong and everything. High seven, lows earth, back open, chest closed, finding the root, bending your knees, hip forward, behind the bows. They are positive energy in your body, and they exude that positive energy, and people can see it. They may not know why that's there. They can just pick it up.
Right.
And it's true. I had my student do that, and I talked about my student was kind of a dork, and I told him how to properly project his energy, hold his posture, find the root in it. And his aunt actually saw confidence in him. She's like,
just
wow,
from that
little just from the change. And I told him, listen, change your mentality. You're not defensive, you're offensive. You have to exude positive energy. You don't want to be like this. That's unsure. I love defend. I look unsure. When you look sure, you're positive, you can handle it. And that's what changes everything. You have to have that. And so changing just your posture is going to change the outlook. It's also going to change the energy in your body as well.
Change your attitude too.
It changes everything.
Yeah.
So it's a big difference.
Yeah, just pay attention to stuff. Like do self checkups, because if you've been doing it wrong for a very long time, you're gonna have to keep reminding yourself, do I got my posture? Is it good? So every once in a while throughout the day, especially if you notice your back's hurting, why is my back hurting? Am I sitting wrong? Am I drooping? My shoulder is down, that kind of stuff. So just pay attention, keep self-correcting, and do your Qigong on a regular basis.
And if you do all that right and you still feel back pain, go see like a chiropractor or a doctor, because somewhere along the lines you have a misalignment.
Right.
The body is naturally made to heal.
Or maybe like a bulging disc or something.
Okay?
Yeah.
I learned from a chiropractor, your body can heal itself. It does. It always wants to heal itself. But there are certain ways, like for every one way you have another muscle that counters it. So you have forward muscle, you have backwards muscle, you got muscles that are moving to your left, muscles that move to the right. However, there are certain ways that you cannot fix. For example, if your spine slips outward, there's no muscle that pulls it back. That's why you need to get adjusted, because your body cannot do that. And what it'll do is it'll try to heal, but it'll be bumped over this, let's say, disc that's out. And so your body has a natural flow. It wants to flow. And now this is causing it to disrupt, and it's causing it to slow down the flow, or cause it to veer away from the natural flow it's supposed to. And it's going to cause pain. So sometimes you have to be adjusted by a chiropractor, because there's no way that you can adjust yourself. You need some outside force to do it. Certain ways your body, you have a certain pull, your body can naturally heal itself when it's done right. It just does. You have muscles that help pull your bones and your muscles and keep them in place. But certain positions, like your spine especially, you cannot adjust that on your own. You need somebody, or if you can on your own, but you don't have a muscle to push to self-correct it. You need an outside force to self-correct it. So it's very good to see a chiropractor. It's not bad. Back in the days, it used to be like, oh, I don't know. Okay, they don't crack you. They adjust you. Understand? Chiropractors don't.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones.
Crack your bones. They adjust your bones. Okay, so just understand that. And today, there are a lot of chiropractors who are chiropractors, they're going to school now. Whereas before, anyone could open up a chiropractor and say, let me just adjust you this. And they may not know what they're doing. Today, you have to have a license to be a chiropractor. So you have to go under the schooling and everything. So it's much safer, it's much better. I'm not saying every chiropractor is good. There's some great, I went to a great chiropractor. He was a neuro chiropractor. It was awesome. He blew my mind away, and that's a lot. So he was very, very good. So you have to find a good chiropractor who knows what he's doing. he adjusts only the points that were off. He didn't just say lie in your back and let me just do this way. Just adjusted everything. He only adjusted what was wrong. He was a great chiropractor. Very, very
Yeah. And acupuncture too is also amazing if you can afford it. It's a little bit more expensive and a lot of medical plans don't cover it.
Yes.
But it is an option for some people. So, and sometimes you can find an acupuncturist that also is a chiropractor mixed in one. I actually found one. So there's sometimes you can get like the best of both worlds all in one, and they can take care of you double fold. But the reflexology, that's all working on the meridians, your qigong, your tai chi, that's all working on your meridians and helping release those blockages. So that's part of it. But then if you find you're doing these things on a regular basis and there's still something else going on, then you definitely need to seek a professional that can help you, do those adjustments and things to help get that whatever's blockage is going on that you can't get out yourself. So Larry sent over from 81 Colin Zeal. Does Sifu know basic Choi Le Fu?
Choi Le Foot.
Choi La Foot.
Choi Le Foot.
Choi La Foot. I don't know that word. Do you know that?
Yeah, I know what it is.
But do you know it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. But like to teach it.
I don't know. I know what it looks like. I can
Okay.
see what Choi Le Foot is. Choi Le Foot is a lot like
Oh, okay. I've seen that
Basically.
before. I didn't
Choi
know what
Le
that
Foot,
was.
very long like this and like that. So I don't teach it. I don't know. I've seen it. I know what it looks like.
Would you be able to help improve someone?
Of course.
that
You know how to
does
improve
jiu-jitsu?
it? Free proof.
Mm.
Shoulder, elbow, elbow, wrist, wrist to point. That's the underlying rule
Right, because
of arms.
when you were making those movements, I could see if you did that wrong, like you could get your shoulder out of socket easily. with
Listen,
that.
free proof is the key to any style you do. Okay. Whether you do Aikido, whether you do karate, whether you do boxing, whether you do whatever, free proof is the way you do it. Okay. Free proof is shoulder goes to elbow, elbow goes to wrist, wrist turns to point. That's how you do it. Period. That's how you improve your arms.
There you
So
go.
if you don't know how to do it, then you got to go to the site and look at the techniques to do it, because I'm not going to spend the next 15, 20 minutes. But the principle is shoulder goes to elbow, elbow goes to the wrist, wrist goes to point. Turns to point, I should say.
That is it. I have saw that. I didn't know what it was called, but I've seen styles
Choi Le
like
Foot.
that before. So that's interesting. Let's check out some more videos on that. So Corey Rutherford sent over, Sifu, what are the applications of the spinning back kick and spinning back fist in self-defense? You guys really are interested in spinning things. I've noticed that. Spinning and
Spinning
crossing
back
kicks to
kicks
heads.
are awesome. I mean, it's probably my strongest kick I can make. A 360-degree spinning back kick. I actually took a 225-pound guy. He held this pad, and he was a friend of mine that I met from my church from many years ago. Came to my school, and he's big guy. He was like, "Wow, you can do this!" You can do this. Like, it was the first time he came to my school. First time we met each other. We've known each other for like a few weeks. Came to my school, and he grabbed the kicking shield, and he's like, "Kick me as hard as you can." And I said, "Nah." He said, "What's your strongest kick?" I said, 360 back kick. He's like, "Give me the hardest kick you got." I was like, "I don't know, man. That's a strong kick I got." And he's like, no. I've taken karate for like, 5-6 years. I know how to hold a pad. I said, "Are you sure?" He's like, yeah. I can hold a pad. I was like, I'm telling you, I can do it. I was like, all right, fine. So I was like, get ready. So I gave it 360. He flew about 5 feet back, fell to the floor. It was on the floor for like a minute. He couldn't breathe. He's like, oh, he laughed while he's like, good kick. Oh. He's like, that hurt a lot. I was like, I told you. I thought you could take it. He goes, well, I've never felt a kick that strong. And it's like, and anyways, off the side, a spinning back kick is very great as an initial. It's a good way to closing from distance. People would like to stay far. I always use she's like my opponent here. A spinning back kick is great because at a certain distance here, you're here, you fake it, you go right in for the kick. I like to do a jab to the eyes, let them see that, and then a spinning back kick comes in. It's very, very powerful kick. It's probably, to me, one of the most powerful kicks you can make, because
So it's more about closing the distance.
yes, and it's good because you can close the distance on multiple people. If I'm attacking you here and I see someone coming here, I can spin and get to that person and kick them there. So it's very, very good that way. Spinning back kick is, to me, now some people say, no, that's not the most powerful. Axe kick could be the most powerful. Some people say side kick. Again, it's a preference. It's somebody's body mechanics that work best that way. To me, the spinning back kick is the best. It has a lot of distance to cover. It has a feigning technique, so you can actually jam the eyes and then go for the kick. So it has a lot of stuff that you can do to really close in the distance on them. It's very powerful and it has a good recovery. If you don't kick, if you know how to kick right, you can recover from that kick. It's not one of those kicks that you have to throw everything behind. The spinning generates a torque, which helps you get your snap out and allows you to recover at the same time. So it's a very, very useful kick that way. A spinning back fist is great. It's very powerful. People get knocked out from a spinning back kick.
Back fist?
Back fist. That's not back kick. Spinning back fist. It's great in terms of movement. It has a certain way to flow. If your hands are cutting down someone's arm like this, you have to go up. A back fist is great that way. Spinning back kick, again, it's like a spinning back fist. It's like a spinning back kick. You can do a setup move where you go like this and then go into that. You see it in karate a lot, sometimes in competitions, and you can see people when they get hit. It's very powerful because that torquing behind that body helps generate such immense torquing power that you could, if you connect that energy outright and snap, it creates such a lot of power. So yeah, they're both very effective, but like all techniques, there's a time and a place. I wouldn't just throw it out of nowhere, like, because for every technique, there's a positive and negative.
Right.
So you got to understand you're exposing your back to someone. So unless you time it right, know the setup moves and stuff like that, don't just throw a spin back kick like me or spin back fist or spin. I don't just turn. I give them a feint. I get this, I show them that, then I do that. I don't just throw my hand into the back fist where a guy was ready.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he
that
might throw a punch, he might
you,
go for a bum rush, he might kick me. I had a guy do a spinning axe kick on me before. He tried to do all these techniques, came and kick, and as he turned his back, he had a lot of powerful kicks. I just stepped back, kept my distance because he had a lot of power behind what he did. So I was like, I'm not gonna stand here and take this. So I stepped back. And as I saw him turn his back to do a spinning kick on me, I just kicked him in the butt. I made his back go and stopped them all together. So everything has a way to do it. And remember,
so you want to fake them out.
You can
distract
me.
them.
I do the faking because I'm not just gonna turn and give him something. I want to give him something to see, to respond to, and then go for an execution of the technique I want. I'm not just gonna spin, hope that he doesn't see it and counter me quick and easy. So everything has its place, but when I do a spinning move of any kind, whether it's a back fist or a spinning back, I do a setup move before I do that, or unless I'm already in a fight in a flow where I'm getting a knee here like this, and I might step back and do a spinning cat back kick because I see someone coming and I can get that out. So everything has a feel. It's your experience that's going to teach you when you should or when you shouldn't for any technique.
Right. And if you're like Seafood Larry and you have motion sickness, spinning back kicks might not be for you. But don't worry, there's plenty of other techniques you can do. Just throwing out that little thing. He told me that they make them sick. There's a lot of the spitting stuff. No bueno, not good.
So he must not like first-person shooter games. People will get motion sickness. Can't really play first-person shooters. They get
I don't know. Seafood Larry, do you have a problem with that? First person shooter games?
FPS?
No, but I actually get dizzy. Those roller coaster games.
Oh,
I actually get dizzy watching those games.
Really?
Or if I go to a movie theater and they have that where you're like going up a roller coaster, then they get
yeah.
I actually get dizzy watching that. It's really embarrassing.
Oh,
I'm glad I shared it with everybody in the world.
Congratulations. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. All right. So John Joink says, with all the different subjects on the site to learn, is there a good way to learn all you have to offer so that it may or may not conflict with one another? Yes, the No Deck Now 101 course. That is going to take you through your first year. And by the time you get through that, the 102 course will be available. And by the time you get through that, the 103 course will be available. And over that course of time, it's going to take you through everything. The first year is going over your basics and stuff like that, just getting your body ready, your mind prepared and all that good stuff. And then as you go through it, it'll go through more. Now, if you have more time and you want to go to other things, then you might want to set up an orientation and let us know what your training goals are. And that way we can set up a specific plan for you. So we'll tell you to still use the No Deck Now 101 course as your main training, but maybe there's stuff that you're going to use in the training hall on top of that with your extra time that are going to meet your specific training goals. So hopefully that makes sense. And if you need help, email me at support@shaolin.com and we'll take care of you. Let's see. Zespan says, how to improve footwork in Wing Chun. I'm okay with hand, but legs control is hard. Too often leaning back and forth.
Well, there's your answer right there. You're leaning. Right? Footwork isn't really, we teach footwork's not relevant. It's your footwork's it's naturally there. I mean, it's really your core that's making you mess up. So don't worry about your footwork. Foot actually obeys the hips. Hips don't obey the foot. So understand that when I do my footwork, I turn my waist and my foot naturally finds center. Your feet naturally do that. So you don't ever have to worry about your feet. It's really your core that's bad, that's causing you to do that. For example, if I stood on one leg and someone pushes back, I naturally can step backwards. But if someone pushes me back and my foot tried to find center, but my core was off, and so it overthrew my center point. So really, you want to have a strong core. Get your body so when I move, I'm not moving together like this. If I'm attack, I'm not doing this. If I attack, I use my body, I use my core. If I need to turn, I turn my hips. I don't try to take my foot, push, and then get my body to turn afterwards. My hips should turn first, and the foot should go after. Like if you were to walk straight and I told you to turn 90 degrees, you know, when we're walking, nobody goes like this. I don't know if you can see my foot, but nobody walks like this and then turn their body. You plant your foot to the ground, you turn your hip, and your foot will naturally turn because of that. So really, you want to focus on your core. Your footwork will naturally find center if you have that. Okay, you don't have to worry about footwork. A lot of people talk about, oh, you gotta have your footwork. It's really not a big deal. Do you think about walking? Do you think about running? No, you do it naturally. When you do that, combat's no different. When I move, it's my core that's really gonna allow me to move back and forth very, very well. If your core's off, yeah, you're gonna find that your footwork's gonna be off because your footwork is going to naturally find center, but your body's constantly throwing you past that center point. So keep your body right, and then you will find that you can move back and forth very well, very, very quickly. But if you're like this, then yeah, you're going to find that you're going to have a very hard time adjusting because your body's always throwing you off center. Keep your core strong. Let your waist turn your feet for you. Let your body go between the front ball and the heel. Don't overshoot your body, because if I'm going forward, like I'm doing a snapping punch, you know, back fist, let's say, and I'm like this, you can see I'm leaning. But if I can do it from a hip, you can see I'm still stable, and I can generate more speed because I'm not throwing first, then trying to catch up to it. I'm actually torquing my hip and keeping the core together, which creates a snap. It's like pushing off of a spring versus jumping with nothing. You know what I mean? Like throwing yourself off versus pushing yourself off of a spring. So it's going to give you extra boost. My hip, my root is that extra boost that allows me to move forward. But if you're throwing from the body, you're not getting the energy from the ground. So you got to think of the core and know how to keep your core right. Strong core, strong root, strong core, strong drive, strong core, strong everything. So make sure you have a strong core, because that is your connection between your hands and your feet. So if there's a break between your hands and your feet because of the core, then of course you're going to always feel like you're fighting for your balance. And the fact that you say, you know, like lean forward, lean backwards, that's already telling you your core is weak and that you don't know how to keep your core right. And so you're going to have a problem every time because of that.
You just reminded me a very important thing about your core. If your core is weak, you generally have back problems too. Just remind me, because I actually get on my daughter a lot about that, because she's like, "Mommy, my back hurts." It's posture. It's not, you know, working out your core to help tighten everything up and stuff. You know, you have an internal girdle with your muscles. Like women, you don't need to wear girdles. You just need to go and do your exercises and train right and stuff, and it naturally will, you know, in all the right places. But generally, people that have a lot of the back problems and stuff like that, it's their posture and the fact that they're not actually working out their core too, or a combination of all the above, or sometimes one or the other. But and same thing, if you're doing your core exercises but you're not doing them right, you could actually injure yourself. So everything is about learning how to properly use your body and move it. So Tempa sent over, "Hi Sifu, please expound on the fighting mentality in a real self-defense, like in a life and death situation." So, you know, what can you do to prepare yourself mentally?
Well, there's really nothing you can do to prepare yourself. The training that you do is supposed to kick in the feeling of it. You know, soldiers, they train every day to get used to that experience. You have to train for the feeling of energy. That's really what you want. You don't want to do scenario alone. It's like just learn how to do steps without feeling music. You want to feel the energy. That's what makes it so successful. Like we teach you how to control point. We're not teaching you how to do techniques. Techniques can fail because someone's arm could change, someone's angle could change. So we don't teach you, first off, to be defensive, because then you're always going to try and get it away from you. We teach you to be offensive or counteroffensive. Defensive is the wrong mental state to play. You're always going to think of trying not to get hurt, so you're always going to try and move away. Remember, 3 things stops a person from attacking, right? Knock them out, lock them out, or they get what they want. Now, obviously, if they're trying to kill you or hurt you, and we don't want them to get what they want. So you have to go on the principle of either knocking them out or locking them out. So if you're not following between those 2 principles, the technique is not good. Okay. In terms of the mental state, you want to train to control yourself, and then
Yes.
you control the point. Don't mimic technique to just try and do technique. For example, she punches me, let's say she had a knife, and I practice like this, like this, like you want to learn how to go for points. You want to learn how to hit points. So when you do that, that's what you're training to do. But if you're just training to bring your hands up to try and get them off you, you're not controlling. You're actually throwing energy. You're not in control of energy. When she's punching, I teach control that when I move, everything is point to point to point. You got to train your muscles to respond without thought. And so in a situation, if someone's coming at you with a knife and they come in with this energy, that's the energy you're training with all the time. No matter what, you learn how to hit the point, get into the point, hit the point, get to the point, hit the point. That's what your training is. If you're training to memorize steps and not feel the hitting of the point, you're going to freak out because you didn't learn it. You copied it, you mimicked it, but you didn't absorb it and get it in you to get it out of you. It's like a monkey mimicking. A parrot repeating words. They don't know how to make sentences like us, like we do. They don't know how to talk like we talk. They can repeat words. They just mimic, but they don't know how to control it. Again, we follow all the rules. We are here to control. If one word describes what NDN is, there's only one word. It's control. You have to learn to control yourself in order to control your opponent. You have to learn how to control the energy in order to manipulate the energy behind it. So you have to put your mind in that state. Now, in a life or death situation, it changes because, one moment you can see a guy coming at you, another time someone can come at you out of nowhere, and all of a sudden you got surprised. And again, the common factor behind that is you have to be in control. And you have to control the point. People I see off the line, I've seen a lot of videos on knife stabs and fights, is they're just throwing energy. And again, anyone can do that. We are teaching you how to control energy. People who've practiced with us or people who have been practicing, they've given us testimony like, yeah, I did the technique and man, that guy's arm hurt. He wouldn't punch me anymore, because we don't teach you defensive techniques, because that's teaching you how to get energy away from you. It's movement by motion. We don't teach you movement by motion. We teach you movement by point. Okay. That's what it's all about. Controlling the point. If you control the point, then you get the motion behind it. That's a fact. So to get you to mentally be capable, you have to understand how to control the body, the mind, and the energy. Those, you ever hear that saying, mind, body, spirit is one? That's what you're doing. You're training that. But how are you doing it? Are you doing it by movement, mimicking movement, or you understand how to produce that energy every time? The idea is this: if the person throws a punch at you, and if they change, no matter how they change their punch, and I'm not talking about a spinning back fist versus a straight line punch, I'm talking about variations, a little up, a little bit down, a little over here. You should hit that point the same no matter how they come at you. If you're getting a different effect, that means you didn't control the energy. You're just throwing it. For example, if she threw like a horizontal punch, and I'm like this, and she throws a vertical punch, and vertical.
Like that.
And I'm like this. You can see I'm changing the way I intercept. Then I'm not doing my part right. My part is no matter how she punches me, I hit the point. No matter how she is, she can change her arm up, down, as long as not wide.
You don't want it that way. Okay.
Yeah. So slight variations of like this, like this.
Okay.
Those slight variations of punch shouldn't make a difference. Now you swung, but any kind of like I said, straight, round, somebody lifting the shoulders, throwing, it doesn't matter. I should still be able to control the point. Think of them as one number, and your goal is to get to 100. If they're less than 100, if they're going 80, you're gonna hit 20. If they did 60, you'll do 40. You're gonna get to the same. It doesn't matter how they start. It's how you connect and follow through. That's what really matters. So that's our goal. So you have to learn how to control that. And again, we teach you everything by point, point control. That is the key to what we do. And how do you do point control? Through the 3 proof. These are the principles that the system is all about. And how you go about it. For example, she throws a straight punch. I might go here and I might follow here, right? That's fine. I might go here and might go here. So that's fine. I might go here and go under. And who cares? As long as I follow properly through the principles. And it doesn't matter. Follow the principles in what you do. Don't follow the technique in itself. Because technique is like, without the principle behind it, is like having a physics formula, but applying on the wrong problem. Having a gravity formula, but applying for speed. Even though the technique is right, it's not at the right situation. And that's the same. You have to do point control. So that way, no matter what the situation of the punch is, you're in control of it all the time. If you're just doing it where you're doing a technique and you try to do for anything, it's not necessarily true. Even though the technique could be right, it's not necessarily good for that movement because let's say the arm changes. That's why you have to have the ability to adjust. You know, road knockdown has the ability to adapt to change of energy, or other styles, it's fixed. And I'm not picking on any style, but like any style, like let's just say, and again, it's not about Wing Chun, just I'm going to pick Wing Chun just to say Wing Chun. Okay. But, you know, too many people get into those swings in my head and they get like this and they get too locked up and there's no adjustability. And then if they are, they get hit. And often you see Wing Chun get socked in the head by a boxer. I rarely ever see a Wing Chun guy stop a boxer's hook punch. And the reason why is because there's no adaptability. You're locked into the point and their arc is changing and you're trying to hit for that one point.
And they're going.
And they're not there. Now, why is it that Wing Chun works in Wing Chun hook punches and why it doesn't work in boxers? There's a reason. And I know the reason. But they are misguided because they're not understanding energy. They're mimicking a movement, but they don't understand the energy behind the movement. And that's really, really what we want to teach you how to understand, the energy behind the movement and how to control that energy. And, you know, you do that through point control. You do that through three proof. You do that through the turning of the wrist, not the throwing of the shoulders. All the stuff makes the big difference. And, you know, we do it all the time in demonstrations. We always pick the biggest, strongest guys who don't believe what we do and just go ahead and do everything we can to make it not work. And we show that it works because it's not about whether it's cooperative energy. It can be the most uncooperative, most forceful, most, you know, resistant person there is. And it's still going to work because we're not fighting the energy. We're controlling the energy. We're not trying to overcome the energy. We're manipulating the energy that's behind it. And that's what really makes the difference. You know, I always like say it doesn't matter who the opponent is. They're the gas pedal of the world's strongest car, you know, the fastest car in the world. They can say how fast they want to go and when they want to go. Big deal with the steering wheel. We're going to tell you where to go with it. So it's irrelevant how powerful the engine is, how fast the engine is. As long as you know how to steer and drive that car, it doesn't matter. The question is, can you drive the car? Can you steer the car? That's the training.
Sorry about my hook punches earlier. I have hook punches on the mind from a comment that I was reading earlier. I'm having an ADD.
It's all right. I stopped it.
As long as you stop it, it's all good. See, you can switch it up and he still stops it. It's all good. Let's see. So we got that. Oh, and real quick.
And that's going to be different for everybody because of the training.
Yeah. Tempa. Another thing is your Tai Chi, your Qigong, all this stuff helps prepare you mentally because you're working on yourself and you're getting past all your you know, mistakes and whatever. If you're got ADD like me or Seafood Larry, then it helps you calm and quiet the mind and get it together so you can focus better. But all these things are preparing you. Your training as a whole, if you're doing is preparing you for
and
these things.
situational awareness helps you a lot. Like I tell people, like if you're going to a place where you know it's bad, pay attention, watch. Don't put yourself out there.
And definitely like the posture thing. Don't be like slouching and looking down and looking like you can be taken advantage of.
Yeah, I mean, one of my students, he went to the subway and he got jumped by a guy. The guy came up to him and asked him if he had any spare change. And he said, no, I don't. I'm sorry. But he walked away and the guy said, listen, it's just, you know, you got like 50 cents, $1, you know, this. I said, listen, I don't have any change. And the guy said, no, you don't get it. I want your money. And he attacked him.
Wow.
You know, and my student could see that, you know, and he was like, oh, okay, I'm getting, but when he attacked this guy, another guy came out of the corner under the subway area. He was hiding behind one of the columns. And my student, thank goodness, because he was trained properly, but he handled the situation, saw the guy. He said, when I hit this guy, I could see him out of the corner of my eye. I wasn't looking, but his situation aware, because I teach peripheral vision to see through the peripheral. And he saw the guy come out of nowhere and instinctively just gave a back kick, dropped the guy down. So, you know, he was able to protect himself because he didn't think about the movement. He said, you know, and every one of my students who got in the fight said the same thing. It's like they're watching from a third view or God's eye view. They're not there. They actually see outside that because they're not focused in on that point. They actually can see everything and they just instinctively know what to do through the training.
Yeah. And I will say the biggest thing is don't freak out and don't worry about it. If you're paranoid about what's going to happen in the event that you get into an altercation, you're probably going to panic and freak out.
There's a saying that we say, if you think, you stink.
Yes.
Okay. So, but you got to feel the deal to make them squeal.
Yeah.
And in training, I say, right now you stink, so it's okay to think, but eventually you got to feel the deal and make it squeal. You got to turn what you learn mentally to get it down to physically, to get it from the core, to get it from your soul, from your inner being and out.
Yep. And I totally agree. Another thing is, you know, I've been in a couple altercations since I started training, and it is like what you were talking about. Like you get done, you're like, did that just happen? Because like your body just reacts and does what it's supposed to do. Like responds. I know responds are a little bit different in the Kung Fu world, but it responds to what it's supposed to do. And you don't even think about it. And it just happened. And you're like, whoa. I guess all that training is actually doing something, because it's rewiring your brain, it's rewiring your body. So don't panic.
It's like, you know, when you're doing it, you know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
even Steve Larry, like,
It
he
becomes
took a
instinctive.
guy, almost slammed his head into the windshield, but it last like he pulled him and stopped. I don't want to break this guy's car. It all happened within an instant. You know,
Right.
It does happen. You just kind of know. It's just something you do.
Right.
It's like speaking.
And it's almost like it's happening in slow motion, even though to the other people it's not in slow motion.
It's like
very
speaking.
weird.
You know, like, do you have to think about what you say before you say it, or you just say it and you just know it? You know, like, I'm hungry. I want to go here. You just don't think. You just know. You speak it so many times that it becomes instinctive to speak. You don't have to go like, I am tired. Yeah. You don't have to think like that to say it. You just say it. You know, you can just express how you feel right off the bat. And some people can't express it, and that's when they're emotionally flushed. Like, this guy, then they're not in control. They lost control and they can't even speak.
So
that's how much
you're
you
in
lose
control of your mind, your breath, your emotions.
You're good.
You're going to be good.
You know that now.
Right. So there we go. Corey says, I messaged you guys last Friday about my stomach problems after the webinar, but I think it didn't get through. It did not get through. So please resend that to me, Corey, and I'll take care of you. Melanie says, do you know any exercises to help strengthen the upper spine, like between the shoulders?
Yes, there's hanging is good. Okay. Hanging upside down. So if you can get something like, they make those inverted planes that you can put the boot clamps on and hang upside down. It's actually very, very good for you. It's shown, science have shown that it's actually good because it relieves the body of the stress from the spine being compressed all day long. So hanging upside down helps alleviate the spine. It helps relax. It puts blood in your head. So it really is, hanging upside down is a very good way to actually increase and relax and strengthen the spine in your body. And so it's a very good way. The other way is you could hang on a bar, just get like, I forget what they call it. You tie around your wrist and there's straps, and you just wrap it and you just hang, and allow you to hang on much longer because the strap is actually supporting you the whole. Or if you want to just strengthen your grip too, you can hang on the grip, but most people can't hang on for more than a minute. So if you want to get the straps, you can get these straps that allows you to hang on for like 5 minutes, no problem. Okay, so you can hang and let it stretch your spine, let it stretch that. The inverted is better because you're not putting your arms under stress. So the inverted way is actually better for you. This way is good too, if you're strong enough to do that, but you got to be strong enough to do that.
Yeah. And that's actually one of the ways I helped rehabilitate my my lovely shoulder injury. So is by doing the hanging, but I wouldn't be able to hang long at first because it would feel like my shoulder was about to separate. So I just did it as long as I could, and like slowly.
Well, they make wrist straps that you can put on your wrist,
longer.
and then you can actually, it's like a wraps around your wrist, and it's a long just material, and then you just use that and you wrap it around the thing.
Right, to give you the extra support.
And then, you just hold on to that. So you're not really holding it. It's pulling on your wrist, and your wrist is hanging by that tether, and you just have light pressure on that. And that allows you to hold for a long, long time.
Check that out. So Bob says, hello, everybody. Very good explanations and demo. Thank you. You're welcome. And Loy says, what is your fighting philosophy?
Avoid a fight whenever you can, because you don't know how crazy a person is in the future. They can come back with a gun and shoot you.
Right.
Fighting is the last
fight.
Fighting is the last thing you want, and it doesn't prove anything. So because today anyone can shoot anyone, take them out. It doesn't matter. People don't fight with honor. They don't fight with pride anymore. Like, people will just kill you just because you said hi to them the wrong way. There's people out there. So if you can avoid conflict, it's best, because really, you don't know what may happen. I have a student of mine, and I'm not going to mention his/her name, but they got punched by a guy in a bar many times. And this is before they trained with me, but they told me the story. But they got punched by someone. They didn't know who it was. Like, I forget how many years later,
like
2 or 3
totally
years. Yeah. But there was a fight in a bar and everything. And he came out, this size sucker punched him, and he had no idea. And the guy ran. He had no idea. Well, years later, he found out who he was, and he waited for him behind the bushes. He found out where he was, who he was, where his house was, And he actually waited. He said he waited hours. He was hiding in the bushes all day waiting for the guy to come home. When the guy came home, it was close to dark. He called out his name. The guy turned around. He wailed him with a gun, and he had a pistol in his face. He was about to shoot him, and the only thing that stopped him was like, I don't want my son to be without a father. He didn't want to go to jail for this and not have his son grow up with a father. So he didn't kill him. But, that's how people can be. Now, he's not like that anymore. This was when he was younger, but he's not like that anymore. He's a good man now, good man. And, but, in his youth, he was crazy. He was like, you don't know what people can do. So it's better to be friends than to be enemies, So I don't have any enemies. I don't have anybody I hate. I love everybody and I get along with everybody. So fighting is the last resort, and that's only if someone wants to do you harm. I talk my way out of it before I can have to fight my way out of it. So I know I can handle it. I was at an ice cream store one time, not store, but an ice cream front store. And this guy had his girlfriend in, and she had this tattoo. She had shorts and she had this tattoo. So I just wanted to see what the tattoo said, had a saying. So I wanted to see what the saying was, because there's some really, really smart sayings I like. So it was a good saying. I would like have that in my head. So I looked at her leg, just, looked and see red. And he actually saw me look at her leg, and he stepped in front of her. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm sorry." I was like, she had a tattoo that had a quote. I just want to see what it said. He goes, "No, you're not looking at it." I was like, "All right, no problem." And he goes, "Turn around." And I was like, "All right, now that's going a little too far." I said, "No problem." But I was like, "I'm not turning around." Now, I'm not saying that was right of me. I was wrong. Okay. Because that was my pride that got in there after that. Because he told me what to do. And I was like, "No, I'm not turning around." I was like, "No way." I was like, "I'm not turning around." And I stood right there and I looked at him. And he stood between him and his girl. I just stood there. I was like, "All right." And I just stood there. I was waiting for him to do something. I was ready to fight him. It wasn't right. He was a younger kid. And I was like, in my head, I was like, you know what? I was like, this is wrong. So I was just like, I'll turn around. But I didn't want to turn my back to him, because in case he tried to sucker punch me. That was one of the other reasons why I was like, I'm not going to turn my back to this guy now that he had this hostility towards me. So, some people might say, "Oh, his back's turned. I'm just going to punch him back in the head or kick him and make him look stupid, feel stupid." So I was like, I'm not going to let him do that. So, but then my sense got back and was like, "So I really want to fight this kid?" He's just a kid. He's probably like 20 years old. I'm 40 something. Like, what am I doing? So I turned around. I was like, never mind. But I kept my eye on him. But I was like, that nothing good would have come out if I hurt this kid. So I was like, in respect, I was like, that was my pride got in the way, and I was like, I can't let that happen. I learned from that. And I said, I don't want to have to do that, because what if it did fight? I would have hurt this kid, and it would not have been good. And that would have been my pride doing that. I should have said, "Hey," if he said turn around, I'd be like, "Listen, I can respect she's your girlfriend, but please don't tell me what to do." And if you do, then I'm gonna kick your butt. No, I'm kidding. But I should not have gotten my pride in the way, because it wasn't going to be a good thing. In retrospect, like I said, it's not good.
Couple life lessons. One, don't stare at people's tattoos. Ask, "Hey, what does that say?" And two, if you got tattoos and they're kind of in odd spots where maybe people should not be staring at you, and your boyfriend or girlfriend might get offended that someone's looking, maybe you should cover up. There you go. There's the solutions. Yay. Everyone's good now. All right, family. I think that is everything. Melanie says, "Thank you. I've got a pull-up bar that I can use." Yep, that's what I use.
Hang upside down if you can.
Yeah,
it's good for you.
If you can do that, I would love to get one of those. So maybe that'll be something.
It's called the inverted
something.
It's kind of inverted. I can't think of the word. Inverted something.
I know what you're talking about. I've seen them.
Yeah, you put your heels on and flip upside down.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
They're expensive.
Yeah, that's why I don't have one. Maybe in the future.
Inversion chair.
The inversion chair. There we go. Yes. Maybe in the future we'll get one. Dan says, "Thank you guys. Appreciate the time, advice, and laughs. Glad that we could make your day a little bit brighter." Yep. Gravity inversion tables. Hey, if anyone wants to send us a gravity inversion table, we'll demonstrate it live. You can just,
send it to my address. No.
Email us at support@enershaolin.com. I'll send you our PO box, and we'll take care of you all, and we'll demonstrate it. We'll do some training techniques on how to do your Silm towel upside down. All right, family. Real quick too, I'll give a shout out to our seminar that we got going on. So if you haven't registered yet, we've got 20 seats available. That's 20 seats.
We want you to come. I promise you. I guarantee you that it'll blow your mind away. If not, you can have your money back. Wait, I scratched that. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm
haven't
kidding.
had
We
anyone
will,
not be
we
blown
will
away.
blow your mind away. For those who think they know what they're doing, come, because we're going to show you
And
a
if you're
lot.
brand new, come.
Yeah.
Have
and
fun.
we'll guarantee you that it's something you've never seen. Like I said, if you've gone to a lot of seminars, you're mimicking people's movement. We're not going to teach you or give you a fish. We're going to teach you how to fish. That's one of the things that our philosophy is. We don't want you to mimic us and not understand. We want you to be able to do it and understand what you're doing so you can improve upon it when you leave.
Yeah.
We're not having you just mimic and go, oh, I forgot what he was doing. So
Yeah.
kind of
And everything's recorded too. So even if for some reason you forget, you'll be able to watch the replays later and check it out and stuff and continually be learning from that experience. So you'll meet a lot of great people, not just us, all of our family members that come. They're all amazing people. So you'll get to meet some people that have been with us for a while. We got some new people coming. I'm super excited about seeing too. And no, you do not have to be a member of Enter Shaolin to attend.
yes.
But hey, if you are, bonus, you can do some additional training in advance if you'd like. But if not, we're going to take care of you either way. So go to entershaolin.com/seminar and sign up, and we'll see you there. And we'll see you next week. If you got any questions between now and then, email us at support.
Yeah, we're not going to teach you to move. We're going to teach you to feel.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do. And we're going to have you actually pressure test those feels and see if you do it right or wrong.
Absolutely. So, real quick before we go. Have you ever used plum blossom poles? This was from Ron. I forgot to ask this question.
No.
No.
I've used the fisherman pole and the dragon pole. But I've never used a plum blossom pole.
So you know what that is, right? The like in the ground, the poles in the ground and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Eventually, Ron, not yet, but when we can afford to clear out a bunch of trees over here where we have Enter Shaolin, we want to create an outside training area, and it would have those in it. So not yet, but maybe in the future.
I do the 8 steps and we do it with that, but we never step on top.
Right,
Or on the
right.
bottom. One of the things that we did was you had to have like a stick tied between your legs, and then you have to learn how to move, and then there's a specific way of learn how to turn your hips to make your foot work. So done that, but never that.
Yeah, and it's cool. I've seen them like they start off with like the small ones and they
And
get
they go
them
hard, yeah.
really, really high. I don't think you can convince me, Ron, to get on the really, really high ones, but I would train on like the small, maybe the medium-sized ones. But the tall, I'm just not, ain't happening. Not that interested.
She's not tall enough.
I'm not tall enough. I'm a little freaked out when I'm that high up in the air, and I'd be like, yeah, no, not interested. But yeah, so we would love to have stuff like that. I think that would be really cool to have like an outside training area, because then we could do all kinds of neat, more cool videos for y'all. And I know a lot of people have been asking about weapons lately. It's almost springtime. Granted, the winter is getting a little crazy towards the end here, but as soon as the weather gets nice out and consistently nice, we are going to start filming 4 different weapons as well. And 5 animals we're also going to be getting started on as well, because I've had a lot of people asking about that too. So I just wanted to give you all a heads up for that. Yes, lots of videos lots of videos to do, but we are working on it. So yep, if you have any questions between now and then, email support@entershaolin.com. We're here to take care of you, and we love you all, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Peace out.
Bye.